Hey, friends, great to be back with you again this week.
Mhm.
Casey and Wendy treat here. It's Tuesday with the treats.
Yes.
So we're talking about relationships,
Mhm.
friendships, and
Yes.
we're trying to give some biblical and practical, right? We do both,
Yeah.
biblical and practical. So you brought up Psalm 15 last week, Wendy. That's a strong message from the Lord. It's actually a psalm. There are how many verses here? 9 verses. No, 5 verses, and it's everything that God wants in His relationship. Right? It's who God will hang out with. So pretty good for us.
Yeah.
If God makes friends with these kind of people, then we should make friends with these kind of people.
Right.
So let's read through it and see if we can pick out some practical applications. Lord, who may dwell in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your holy hill? He who walks uprightly and works righteousness. So number
Yeah.
one, don't hang out with the guys that are out in the riot burning down the city. Don't hang out with the guys who go to the club and find someone to fight or pick up girls. Don't hang out with stupid people.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, but it seems like we picked the wrong people.
Well,
so
it says
often.
walk straight, act right, and they tell the truth. Psalm 15. And it's great talking about relationship. And we kind of really jumped in this week. Hopefully you get a hold of last week and that you kind of go, oh, whoa, we're just moving with dealing with how do you build relationships and how do you have what God wants you to have in this amazing thing called friendship? Because most of us struggle with it and the good, bad, and ugly. And I'm the female side, you're the male side. So it's always funny because you're much more, even in our personalities, I'm much more, as we would call it, the amplified, and you're much more of the New King James. We're I'm more this detailed and you're more straight line. But when you do say that, I think Psalm 115, I mean, wow. I mean, not 115, Psalm 15, it says, walk straight, act right, tell the truth. And these are really qualities for us to have individually because you want to also not only find the kind of friends to build with, but be the kind of friend that people want to create life with. So these are amazing things about our character. And I think that in I guess today is not more evil than history has been because history always is a little bit rosy when we look at it. It looks like it was so good, but all you got to do is look at history and it was not always rosy. But today does seem a little bit scary at times of even this area of act right and tell the truth.
People say, well, I don't know why I can't find good friends and people like this. I can't even find somebody like that. But where do you live? Where do you work? Do you go to church? Are you in a Bible study?
Uh-huh.
Are you involved with things of God? Or are you at the tavern and hanging out after the office at the party? And, so if you're not in a world where people live biblically,
Yeah.
don't expect to have biblical relationships. So what do you have? You end up with people who will lie, who will cheat, who will take advantage, who will abuse. And it's sad that it's so common in our world, but we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we are surprised at times, like I can understand that. Like, wait, what happened? How did that just happen? And there is this place of church and being in Bible studies. It's not about being perfect in that because there's no such thing as a perfect place. But the thing about people that are going to Bible studies or being in church or being in that kind of environment, they're saying, I want what God has for me. Do I have it all? No. Am I perfect? No, but I want it. So your pool of amazing people to draw from are people that are walking the same desire pathway of being a person that walks straight, that acts right, and that tells the truth. So you've got this great pool of potential, including yourself, because there's going to be times that sometimes, you didn't do exactly that either, because it's not about perfection, but it is finding that pathway of people that are wanting the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard to build relationships with people who are committed to self, right?
Uh-huh.
What I want, what I need, that's the priority. So they're sucking life out of everything.
Mhm.
And that relationship can't last because eventually they're going to find someone else they think will give them more of what they want. So selfishness is going to be destructive in every relationship.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being surprised when the Hollywood couple breaks up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a shock because this is her 13th boyfriend in
Yeah.
the last 10 years.
I
I mean,
know.
who's surprised?
Right.
And yet the media acts like, oh, we're so sad to see the breakup.
Well,
Really?
uh,
It's normal.
it's normal.
It's going to happen because
Yeah.
that's their mode.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting comment here in Psalm 15 about who can be a friend with God. These are the kind of people that can be your friend.
Uh-huh.
And I like this line that says, who swears to his own hurt and does not change.
Yeah.
So that means when I make a commitment, I'm going to follow through. Okay? If I say I'm going to be there, I show up. Even if I change my mind and man, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Okay, I still have to show up because I swear to my own hurt. And sometimes in friendships, maybe they've gone through a financial crisis. They used to be able to pay for dinner and pay for things and you could travel together and do things together. But now they're struggling financially.
Mm-hmm.
But they're your friend. So you help out, you stay faithful. Maybe they change their position. They used to be able to introduce you to a lot of important people, but now they've lost that position and they're not so important anymore. Are they still your friend? That's where you have to decide. I'm a godly friend, not a selfish friend.
Yeah.
We've had friends go through crises, divorce, change ministries, whatever. Well, you stay friends
Right.
and you stay committed because you're a faithful person and you swear to your own hurt and you don't just throw people out because you can't get what you want. Yeah. So it's sometimes it's costly.
Well, friendship, it says this continuing, he who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, this is Psalm 15, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend. So again, Psalm 15, verse 3 is dealing with our character. It's dealing with that we don't backbite. Do we gossip? And are we around friends that their conversation, they gossip, but then we gossip, you know what I mean? Because you become like those that you hang around. And do we encourage the gossip? Do we encourage the talking bad and getting to know the other stuff about people? Well, that kind of building relationship always leads to an emptiness of your soul. And that's why God speaks in his word. He says, don't hang around with people that are like that, but really don't just not hang around. Don't be it yourself. That's where we're dealing with this character thing. Nor does evil to his neighbor. And neighbor is just humanity, like that you on purpose are thinking of destructive things or hurtful things or any kind of, mean acts. It's kind of like let's not be that kind of a person. He doesn't take up a reproach against his friend. That's what I mean. Like in building relationship, you just were mentioning it. When you know people and you build relationships for a length of time, you're going to go through all different kinds of life seasons with different people. And some are harder than other seasons of their life. Like when we started off 18, 19, and 20 together, and now we're 60s together, there in our relationships and people that we've known, we were all like innocent, very like, whoa, let's go. We had an innocence of life. Then you have children, and all of a sudden, we've had people that have lost children. We've had friends that have gone through financial distress. We've had people so it says right here, it says, don't take a reproach in the sense of now not being around that. You have to realize in building relationship, there's seasons of walking through also and building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of it comes down to self-awareness, right? Am I the person that God wants me to be? Because if I'm judging friends or gossiping about my friends or frustrated because I don't have any friends, then really it's like, okay, I can't deal with everybody. I can only deal